Welcome, everybody, to our new special episode of 91 News. Today, we have Cory Lee here with us. He's going to join us for our once-a-year episode of Cory's Corner. How exciting does that sound? Are you excited, Steve?
I'm excited. I mean, this is what I've been waiting all year for.
So what do we talk about in Cory's Corner? Anybody know?
Well, what I'm guessing is that we're going to talk something about kind of what the company's gone through in 2023 and maybe some positive outlooks in 2024.
Were you prepped for that? Is that what
I'm just saying that might be on the paper in front of me too.
So yes, Steve guessed correctly. We are going to talk about 2023, the highs, maybe some of the lows and lessons learned, and also what to expect at Martin Concrete in 2024. So we have brought in Martin Concrete's president, Cory Lee. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love the name Cory's Corner because it's very corny.
Yeah.
Dad jokes. Here we go.
So
I'm glad you two are sitting together.
Steve is the king of dad jokes, so you're going to have your competition as this goes on. And Danny and I will sit over here and laugh, or not, one way or the other.
So, Danny, how do you get a one-armed man out of a tree?
Here we go.
How?
Just wave at him.
Gosh. So once again, we're going to do Kristen and Danny's podcast episode.
Yes. But yes, I guess before we get started, it would be nice to maybe have you introduce yourself, Cory, tell everybody about how you started at Martin Concrete so they can get to know you a little bit better and, your role and all that.
Sure. So I'm Cory Lee. I've been with Martin Concrete for 13 years now. I started in business development. Started out because of my past. I had a lot of relationships out there, and so started out business development and then moved into safety and trying to start our efforts with safety that Kristen has taken and made a lot better than I did.
Well, he only handed me one book when I started.
But from there, just kind of took on more responsibility from operations side, and then eventually just rolled into my role today.
So you wore a lot of hats.
Wore a lot of hats, yeah.
We're okay swimming in different lanes.
We are.
And you had good people development since you were promoted and changed different positions.
That is true.
These are a lot of core values.
These are a lot of the mission statement right there.
What is our mission statement?
It is to provide, glad you asked, to provide unequaled positive experience for our customers while providing an dynamic environment in which our employees can envision and achieve unlimited success. And whatever that unlimited success means to them. It's different for everybody.
Right.
That's right.
Yep.
And I want to point out just for a second.
By the way.
He did pass the test. You hit on something too. You started in safety, you started in business development, but when you were going through safety, and then Kristen kind of took the reins, and as you pointed out that she's taken it further, you took it to a point, and now she's taking it and she's continuing it on, and that's really.
Now I have other people continuing it on past me, making it better.
So, and that's really just part of the whole core value in the mission statement. Exactly what we're talking about worked out.
Yeah.
So,
good catch. All right. Well, outside of Martin Concrete, what do you like to do? For fun. Or what's Cory like when he's not here?
So that's changed over the years.
I'm sure.
As I get older and my body fails me. I used to like to work out a lot, and that's not as big a part of my life anymore. But I love to spend time with my family. We go to the lake a lot. I love skiing, snow skiing. So that's the real hobby passions of mine. But yeah, other than that, I actually do a lot of, and Kristen can tell you this, I do a lot of thinking about Martin Concrete when I'm not here.
And a lot of text and phone call ideas on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why don't we get into it a little bit? What would you say are some of the highlights over this past year?
Well, I think a big thing that I think we've accomplished this last year is our continued growth. We've continued to grow the company. We have a very defined growth plan for the company, and we achieved that growth last year. I think 2024, we as senior leaders of the company, we watch the trends. We look at the the macroeconomics, if you will. We go to economists. There's probably 5 economists that we go and visit and kind of see what's going on. We do feel like that 24 will be flat or down as the economy goes. But so the trajectory of a growth plan is not always linear. It's not going to be a straight up curve. So we're predicting a little bit of a flat spot in that. But our biggest thing is as we grow and we achieve this growth, and it provides opportunity for our people, back to our mission statement.
That's right.
So that allows people to move and change in their roles and grow personally and professionally and change roles. In fact, one of the things that I'm most proud of that we've accomplished over the last year is we've promoted 27 people in the company.
That's great.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's 27 people that are doing something different today than they were when they started the first of the year. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you said something in there about the downturn or flatline potentially in 2024, but for our listeners out there, and them to understand it a little bit better or kind of relate it, over the past 10 years, like have we ever experienced that at Martin Concrete over the past 10 years that maybe they can kind of see or relate it to potentially, where it's not so drastic as some might actually think it is?
yeah. So over the last 10 years, the markets always fluctuate up and down. And there's the ability to what I call, and this is kind of a more formal term, but we manage a portfolio of business. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's listened to stock advice or anything like that, you want to spread your investment, if you will, in stocks around to different types of companies and different types of things so that you're not as affected by the ups and downs of the market. Same with construction, same with what we're doing, where you're spreading the type of work and who we do work for and where we do that work around so that we're not as affected by the ups and downs of the market. And I feel like we've done a really good job of that over the last 10 years. Prior to 10 years, the big recession that some people may remember if you're old enough, that was a different story. There's no prediction of any of that in the near future. No prediction of that in the long-term future for the economy. So we feel very strongly that by positioning ourselves with diversity in what we do, we'll easily weather, and we put these plans intentionally together to weather any of the downturns and continue to grow.
Good.
So what are some of the new markets, or what are some of the different markets that we're into right now?
So a big shift in the market, everybody may remember last year and year before last, was the vast majority of the market was distribution facilities. That was partly because of COVID. Everybody in COVID started staying home and clicking and receiving, which drove a huge demand for distribution facilities. And that became a large part of our portfolio, if you will. Since then, we've transitioned and been nimble and intentional with this. Manufacturing has come back, onshoring from manufacturing to America. Those facilities are being built. That spurred a lot of opportunity for us, and a large portion of our work today is heavy manufacturing. Along with that is data centers. Data centers are one of those things that the only limitation to data centers is going to be the land and the electricity. So the computers, the internet, AI is going to drive, as it goes, it's going to drive a lot of demand for data centers. And so that's another segment that we are intentionally putting more and more effort into to get us deeper into that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So in 2023, what are some things that you were most excited about, or that made you proud of Martin Concrete, or you can remember were pivotal moments just in the year that?
Sure. Well, I go back to promoting 27 people.
Yeah.
Right. That's to me, that hits home with our mission statement, and that when we do things that support that mission, then then that's a big win in my book.
I'll add one thing from the people team, so I can. On the top of that, not only did we promote 27 people, but we actually added 51 positions last year that we didn't have. January 1 of 2023, going into 2024, there's 51 additional positions that we filled.
Yeah. So with the 27 people that were promoted, it's growth, right?
Yes.
And that
That's
goes
correct,
back to
yeah.
what we're talking about as well, that we are growing, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that growth of a company is what drives the opportunity.
Absolutely.
If a company stays stagnant, then it gets stagnant for the people as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that, though, is multiple of our customers, and this really gets me excited when I hear this. Highlight for the year, excuse me, is when a customer comes to me. We're having a conversation, and they use somebody else. They didn't use Martin, and I ask them, well, how was it? And they don't think about our mission statement. They don't think about what I'm trying to pull out of them or anything. And their response is, they did pretty good, but it wasn't the Martin experience.
That's good to hear.
I mean, you hear that and you're like, there it is. Right?
That's a win right there.
Can we record
That's
that?
Yeah, exactly. So multiple times over the year, I've heard that. And so when we do that's what really I think is a highlight for me.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, it's just it really comes down to people from both directions too, from that standpoint, right? The hiring from within, the promotion, the people development, and then back to the people on the other side, and that's the customer experience.
Right. Yeah.
And
And they had to have a positive one. And people, we had a lot of new customers last year. And, we did 44 projects that spanned across 10 different states. So to do that, our customer base had to expand to see that we're still giving that Martin experience no matter what, who, when, or
That's
where.
right.
That's exciting. We poured a lot of concrete last year. Do you know?
We poured more concrete than the DOT, Georgia DOT.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Goodness.
That's
Actually,
impressive.
Stephen Thomas was telling me that he had this one fact that I think it was close to 650,000 cubic yards, roughly.
Mhm.
And he was telling me that that's over 71,000 concrete trucks. If you put them back to back and lined up, it could go from Kennesaw all the way to New Orleans with what we poured in concrete last year.
Goodness.
It's a long way.
Those are some cool stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got written down too that over 24 million square feet placed.
Goodness.
Wow.
That's over 560 acres.
Wow.
That's a lot of farmland right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are some impressive figures that we've been able to do over this last year, with the direction and the vision that we've had. So,
Yeah, definitely. So what other things do you remember from last year? I know we started Martin Heavy, correct? Was that last year that we started?
We
that up?
did, yeah. Martin Heavy was born last year, and that's a contributing company, which I'm very excited about. I think Martin Heavy Transport has the ability to grow and produce probably as much as any other company that we have very quickly. It's one of those industries that's in our wheelhouse that you kind of don't think of being in our wheelhouse, but we operate and move our own equipment, and it's what we do all the time. And that is obviously everybody knows the trucking industry. That's something that we can grow and be a part of our growth. And then when that happens, right, Martin Heavy Transport grows. Martin Heavy Transport needs more positions, giving opportunity to people to get into something that they have a desire to get into and grow.
So for our listeners out there that may not be familiar with Martin Heavy, what exactly is their purpose? What are they going to do as their own company?
So they will, we will be able to, so right now we run a lot of our own equipment back and forth to different job sites.
Yeah.
Just take Savannah, for example.
every day.
Yes.
So we're moving laser screeds from Atlanta to Savannah and back and all over where we work. Before, we would take that equipment down, bring the truck back empty,
Correct.
which is just a cost, And now we're able to get a third party, somebody that's not Martin Concrete, to pay us to haul something back to Atlanta, because the truck has to come back to Atlanta. So now we're covering that cost and making money on that delivery. You think forward, you think about the potential in what that could be, then we could easily go into more and more, and already are. We're already seeing the demand to go into more and more of just pure third-party hauling.
And might I say something else? Even when we have rain days or we're not needing to move equipment, our trucks were sitting there, right? And now we have that opportunity to use the trucks and utilize what we already have.
Correct.
That's a good point.
Yep, it's a great point.
And we gain our own ability so we're vertically integrated, so we can use them for the advantage of our projects. At the same time, we can also team up with vendors. And, I mean, there's been multiple situations already where I've seen that we've been able to team up with a rebar supplier, and there's
I love it. Hey, we can't get a truck out there.
Yeah. Well, we got one.
We can. Y'all might not be able to.
And so it helps at the end of the day, it's helping our vendors, it's helping us. Ultimately, it helps the customer.
Correct.
Because that way we get the rebar out there on the job site or whatever it is, that we've got that control and that ability.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's an exciting thing to be able to see that.
Yeah.
So I'll tee this one up. What's exciting that's going on with Finish Safe and possibly our EMR?
Thanks, because if I did that would look so set up.
I was going to say, I don't
Thanks,
know
Steve.
that I'm
We're a great team.
I don't know that I'm going to step on Kristen's toes to comment too much about that. But,
No. We're waiting.
But our EMR is down to 0.63,
Yeah.
which is incredible. A lot of people may not know what EMR is. EMR is your experience modification rate, which is just a fancy way for our insurance companies to tell us how much money we're costing them.
Yeah.
And so the more we cost them in money, they put a number to that, and it affects how easily it is to get work, to get jobs. Yeah. Anything one or over, you end up having to do some extra explaining.
That's right.
During the negotiation of a job.
Or you don't even get to bid some.
Yeah. Or don't even get to bid some. Anything under one is considered good, and a 0.63 is actually considered almost unheard of.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Especially for the amount of manpower that we have out there. And that really is, a result from all the hard work of Finish Safe and our team, but also all the team members out there that are really following the core value of safety and looking out for one another. That's not just one department or one job. That's everybody in the company working together as a team to make that happen. So great job to everyone.
Yeah. That's right.
Thank you, Kristen, and your leadership as well, because that's a big deal, and your team. So.
Yep. And all the field crews that are out there that are putting in the man hours and late nights, early mornings, and you're staying focused and you're keeping everybody safe, because it's we've talked about this before, but it's not just about everybody that works here and receives a paycheck, but their whole family.
Exactly.
So.
And I will say one last thing before we move off the EMR is it is one of those scores. It's like your insurance with a speeding ticket. So if you get a speeding ticket, it stays on your record for 3 to 7 years, however long they're pulling it. EMR is the same way.
Yeah.
So, you have one bad incident, it's staying on there for 3 years. So it's not just a yearly rollover.
I'm starting to notice, no matter your position in this company, it affects everyone, right?
That's true.
And no matter what you do, and you had a good point there with safety, that affects EMR, which affects getting more jobs, which affects making sure that you have the next job to go to put food on the table for your family.
Exactly.
So we're all a team here working together for the same thing. And also expanding also gives us more. Yeah. So it's amazing how we're all a team. And I think that's something everyone needs to hear, no matter your position here.
That's right.
You're a part of Martin Concrete, whether it be Full Tilt, Finish Safe, any of those others, you're part of the team.
Yep. Very true. So what are you excited about in 2024?
So I'm really excited about getting us prepared, and this is the senior leadership team's working on this, but to think about the fact that we're in a bit of a flat market or a down market, but that economy is going to turn around. It always does.
Right.
Economists are currently saying somewhere around late 24 to 25, that's going to start. So how do we get ourselves prepared to take advantage of the next growth cycle in the market? And the SLT team is taking a lot of time to put together a good plan for that and to best position us to take advantage of that next growth cycle. Where do we expand to? What types of jobs are we doing? How are we structured? How we take advantage of this? So we're putting a lot of thought in that, getting others to help us. We reach out to companies like FMI, which is an information company. We're looking at looking at a lot of things to help us make those decisions to get us ready for that next cycle of growth, which is just more opportunity for people here. And that kind of goes back to our philosophy as an SLT team of, our goal, per our mission statement, our goal is to make Martin Concrete growth-oriented and a dynamic place that we are to give opportunity and ability for our people to achieve their goals, feed their families, make obviously companies don't survive if they don't make money, but making money is a necessity yet a benefit of doing the first, if that makes sense, and then not the other way around. So we have to make money as a company to survive and grow, and that feeds the growth. So it's a symbiotic, that's a big word, symbiotic relationship, but the goal is to grow the company and make it great for the people that work here, and by the way, we can make some money. So
answer.
What are some things with that? Are there any things that are coming out of those meetings and those discussions? I know there are, but what are some of those changes that we're going to see over 2024 in there? Any things that are coming up on the horizon?
Well, you'll see us start putting efforts into other markets. You'll see us put efforts into other product type. And as we find out what those trends are going to be, you'll see us put more effort in that. A lot of people don't see the business development effort that goes on.
Sure.
Because that's kind of after hours or away from the office typically. So we'll be putting resources and time into building the relationships, because that's really what this business is about, is relationships. Building the relationships to position us to be able to move into some other markets.
And with that being said, a new market that you're speaking of would be in 2024. Our plan is to open up our coastal region.
Correct. Yep. Yep. And we are currently looking for office space there, and so we've got the central region. We're going to have the coastal region, and we look at our offices as regional offices. So there's some exciting things that are going to happen in that area.
And lots of opportunities.
Yes. Lots of opportunities.
So it sounds like a lot of things are already in place, right? You're already doing a lot of things you were saying for 2024. Y'all been talking about this in 2023, it sounds like, as well.
We've been talking about what we're doing in 2024. We've been talking about since 2019.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So.
And that business development and some of the other things and the making relationships and all that stuff, that's been going on. We're just now finally putting the brick and mortar there and planting the flag.
Right.
But we've been in these markets and we've succeeded in these markets.
Correct.
So yeah, that's an exciting thing, I think, for 2024, is just to be able to finally see the culmination of that. And I say culmination, but it's really just a point along the journey of what that coastal region will turn into. So, but yeah.
Definitely. Well, any last thoughts you want to leave everybody with from last year or coming up for this next year?
Just that I'm excited. I'm very excited for what we've accomplished. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished over the last 10 years, but 23 is no different than that. We expanded our office in 23. We've got a great place for people to come to work.
Both offices, actually.
Both offices, correct, yeah. And so I'm very excited for what we've done, very proud of what we've done, very excited to take this year to think about how do we best position ourselves for the next growth cycle. So that, and then I'm also very happy that Kristen did not kick me under the table.
Well, she couldn't reach you.
I'm
so.
short and I can't reach him.
You sound like you get that a lot.
He actually sits away now.
Yeah. I think most of the senior leadership team don't mind poking me.
So just to add a few things that he was talking about in 2023, we opened up our maintenance and training facility last year. That was really exciting and fun, and really the opportunities that are ahead, that's exciting for all employees here and other people that want to join the Martin Concrete family. And at the end of the day, the growth and what we went through in 2023 and what's to come, none of it can be done without our employees and you guys. Right. And y'all are the most important aspect of this, and that was really the reason that we wanted to come on here today, so to give you a way to be able to be informed and know what's going on and what things we have going into play for that, and that we're thinking about it and we're working on it continuously, and we will continue to do that. But y'all have anything y'all want to add before we sign off?
I just want to throw in there, just kind of following up with that. I mean, it is about the people, and it's about people enjoying what they do when they come to work.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see. I mean, we got one of the things that happened last year. We got named with the AGC as one of Atlanta's top workplaces, and we've had that year after year too. And so, I think that's a big deal. Thank y'all, everyone, for that did, I guess, vote for that with AJC. But then also in the industry, we were named as a specialty contractor of the year.
Yeah, that was
by ENR. That's a huge deal, and none of that is accomplished without everybody. Kind of as Danny mentioned too earlier, every person here, they affect this company, and they are part of that customer experience, and they are part of quality work, and they are part of everybody enjoying what they do when they come to work. So safety,
and they're a part of our growth.
And they're part of the growth.
Yeah,
and
so that's a big deal for all of our people to understand that what we do, each of us do, each of our roles, all leads to where do we want to take the company, and where does the company go, and what opportunities can that provide for people. So, and ENR is a big deal. I failed to mention that, but a lot of people may not know what a ENR is, but it's an engineer news record. It's a big, think Rolling Stone magazine
there you go.
For the music industry, and that's the ENR for the construction industry.
That's right.
Yeah.
So.
And what were we?
We were
specialty
contractor of the year.
Specialty contractor of the year.
Yep.
So that is awesome.
Well, I just want to say thank you also for doing this. I think a lot of us have questions and wonder what's going on, probably make assumptions, but it's good to hear that y'all are talking about the past, seeing what you've done so that you can talk about the future and see where we're going to take the company, and that you think about all your employees that work for us. So I appreciate that, and thank you for doing this.
Yep.
And this is something that more than likely we'll start doing a couple times a year. So if there are questions out there that you want to know and you want us to ask the next time we have Cory on, email them to hr@martinconcrete.com, and just in the subject line put Cory's Corner, and we will know that that's where you're referring to. And we will be more than happy to ask him when he comes on next time.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right.